What's going on, guys? Brandon here with Texas Revving, and in this video we're going to give the 2014 Shelby GT500 a little bit of love. I've had this car for I don't know, 3-4 years now, and every now and then I forget that I really haven't featured it on the channel all that much. Sure, I did a couple little point of view drives, maybe like an overview video or whatever, but you know, it's just a car that hasn't really dated itself all that much, and so I don't think you guys will get too tired of it. The 2013 and 14 GT500 is one that has a very, very strong following, and I don't think there's really a whole lot, or at least enough content on them online. So, you know, I feel like I do my part, then I look back and really haven't made a whole lot of videos. So in this video, there's really nothing too particular. I thought I'd go to some of my favorite like windy roads in the Texas Hill Country and just do a little bit of a point of view drive, not too much to it. And I don't know, I don't think too many people are going to be upset about it being showcased on the channel a little bit more. And like I mentioned, it's just a car that really hasn't dated all that badly, considering that it's a 2014, which means it got delivered to a dealership in 2013. I just think it looks so good as time goes on. It only looks better and better. Maybe some biasy because it's mine, but the rapid red metallic tri-coat with the white stripes, I just think looks so good with the gunmetal wheels. Enough drooling over it. Let's go ahead and climb on in, get the camera set up here. Not to upset people or make them bored of watching this video, but I'm definitely not going to drive like a bat out of hell. A lot of people out today for some reason, but in the hill country, we're still going to enjoy it, rev match it, go through the rev range a little bit, hopefully hear some supercharger whine and enjoy it. But again, not going to drive it like Gone in 60 Seconds. So just fair warning, if that's what you're wanting. Not this video. Ultimately, it could be a little bit of a sketchy car to drive sometimes at 10/10, and I'm trying to bring this car back home. So that's the goal. Hopefully you guys still enjoy the video. Not that this is a review on the car, but just in this particular instance, the tires are the same width from factory, but they are Cup 2s. I will tell you right now, I don't necessarily recommend that. Kind of droney performance with no temperature is very, very bad. Once it gets temperature, it's fine. But we got the Cup 2s. I'll probably go 4S's next time. Other than that, just a little micro review, just driving it over to this location. I was taking it nice and easy, and I just forget sometimes how nice of a car this is, just to put around nice and easily. And now we're gonna enjoy it in the hill country. That being said, this is really the last of like the old school muscle car. 662 horsepower, manual transmission, live rear axle. It really isn't the cornering kind of car, but you know, we're gonna do it anyway because hill country drives are nice and it's gotta be able to do it right. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and start it up here. So again, bone stock exhaust, different intake filter and intake resonator delete. Other than that, bone stock, of course I mentioned the tires. Again, not my favorite tires. They seem to be gripping decently right now. But then again, sorry, and I'm saying it in advance, I'm not gonna drive like a total bat out of hell, like I said, but should be enough to enjoy it. To do the classic heel toe, literally with your heel and toe, more difficult in this, but to be honest, I've never really been good at actual heel towing. I get the job done just by splitting my foot between two pedals and just like, you know, brake and gas. And doing that, it's totally fine in here. Traction control fully on, and even then I could tell it's like sputtering for traction, and the thing's been driven here for like 30 minutes, so it should have all the temperature. Warm day. But yeah, the thing is kind of an animal. Not even going to the top of the rev range, but it sounds like Wally. Just that high-pitched supercharger scream is so nice. Something very distinctive to the SVT, and that's why I wanted to go back to stock exhaust so I could hear that a little bit more. The new GT500, awesome, but you really only hear the supercharger whine really, really low speeds, and it just sounds like a cool induction sound. High end though, it's all exhaust, and that's a really cool trait for that GT500, but this is a really cool trait for the SVT GT500. Not quite Terminator scream, but it's something, and it sounds awesome. Even low revs though, it may not, you know, pick up that fast because again, we're at low revs, but man, it just feels torquey and so strong. I forgot off the top of my head the torque figures, but man, it is not far off from the 20 to 22 GT500. And horsepower, I think, is like, what, 98 horsepower off, and this one's quite a bit lighter. I'll stop comparing the two because they are just like polar opposite ends of feel and how they came to fruition. And so we'll cut it off there. This is more of a muscle car, but you know, if you want to look at performance figures, they're actually fairly similar. Man, yeah, just a very, very strong engine down low. You could short shift this thing and you really don't feel shortchanged, if that makes sense. Yeah, just a very, very strong engine. It's so cool. I forget how easy it is to just slowly put around and be in this monster of a muscle car. It's really, really cool. You got to think back to, you know, 2013, 14, which is really 2012 and 13. They started hitting the dealerships. This thing was the absolute king, man. I mean, being 2025, the car's coming up on, what is it, 12 years old or 13 years old? And you could tell on the interior and all that stuff, don't get me wrong, but that's not why you buy one of these. Infotainment and stuff is just not as good, but again, you don't necessarily buy for it. But once you get around that, like I was connecting my phone to Bluetooth and listening to music, the sound system is actually great, I think, with the technology package that this car has. But I don't know, it's a little bit of a time capsule. It's just old enough to be a time capsule. It makes me think of what I was up to back when this car was unveiled and I was watching all the old Motor Trend videos. But then again, what helps this car's case is it just drives like nothing out there today. You have to really go back to get this feel. But I don't know, I mean, this was before the Hellcat and before all these other high horsepower stuff, and 662 horsepower back in the day, even today, is amazing, but back then, for the amount of money they were going for, it was just quite a bit of a bargain. The shifter is not as crisp as something like the Tremec and the Mach 1s or the GT350 and 350R, or the Dark Horse, but it kind of fits this car. It's a billiard ball shifter, the cue ball. It's way more notchy and a little bit of a longer throw. The clutch is heavier, and it totally fits this car very well, very cohesive, even though it's not as efficient. I think that's about as much luck as I could get as far as trying to find an uninterrupted amounts of windy-ish road. And I try to give you guys a fair warning in the beginning that it won't be like a driving 10 tenths kind of video, but even then I was a little bummed out we caught a lot of traffic. So hopefully it was still entertaining to some regard, but that does it. Glad to showcase the 2014 GT500 a little bit more. I love this thing, and I will say it's for some reason not a car that jumps out at me to go drive, but then when I decide to, I'm so glad I do, and I tell myself that I need to drive it way more. So absolutely love this thing. No, it's not a do-all kind of vehicle. It's great at straight line stuff. It's pretty good at puttering around slowly. Corners, it's not its strong suit, but it kind of makes it its own little charm and fun in its own way. So love this thing. Anyway, that does it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.